Jim McKelvey, the co-founder of Square, said this: "Entrepreneurial companies are focused not on their competition, but on their customers. Lucky for Tesla, there doesn't seem to be any close competition, if at all, and they certainly are obsessed about their customers." Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I don't own a Tesla, but I do own Tesla stock. I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I hope to share with you some of the things I've learned to start this YouTube channel. We're going to learn what makes Tesla so unique and so special, and of course, we're going to go see the daily tweets from the Tesla community and see what the smart people over there are saying. So let's jump in. Alright, so our first tweet today comes from Bradford. He says either China demand has gone way up after Model 3 price cuts, or Tesla is preparing another batch of 7,000 Model 3s to export to the EU. Now he's retweeting what Moneyball tweeted earlier, saying that there's an estimate delivery time has extended to 4 to 6 weeks, up from the 1 to 2 weeks originally. So as we know, Europe doesn't have Giga Berlin up and running just yet, but also there's been uptick of demand from China, and so it could be a multitude of factors, but the extended time does bode well for Tesla, as that probably means that they're just trying to meet the demand. So our next tweet comes from Alex Voigt. He, in sarcasm, says, "Falling rapidly. Every fourth sold battery electric vehicle is a Tesla, 26%, not 15%. He's retweeting someone who was saying that Tesla has only a 15% worldwide market share and is rapidly falling. Well, of course it isn't. Now this is followed up by Christian Brockman, who says, while selling their cars at a much higher average price. If you take the overall revenue, Tesla dominates even more. So all of that to say is, I'm not worried. I don't think most people who are long-term investors are worried. It's just one of those things that there's a lot of noise out there. The next one is from the Tesla owner Silicon Valley. They say 2 left turns with a biker that approaches last minute along with pedestrians on the second stop. FSD is here, folks. Thanks, Elon Musk. Now, I don't normally cover FSD footage or their tweets, but I found that this one was really cool. You could just see how much it's grown and how much it's coming along since the deployment. So what's really interesting about this particular footage is how the car negotiates. I think the key term is negotiation, where a car has to determine, do I make the turn or do I wait? And sometimes it sounds like a normal thing that we do all the time, but for the AI, it keeps learning, it keeps improving, and so it's really encouraging to see. Our next tweet comes from the Tasmanian blog website. It says, Tesla Autopilot would avoid 90% of car accidents. German researcher urges a country's adoption. Now, it makes sense that FSD overall, if in mass adoption, would actually be safer than human beings. Now, this makes sense because robots don't get tired. They don't get sleepy or distracted. They don't text and drive. They don't drink and drive. They simply drive based on what's given in front of them. I think as more data comes out regarding FSD, we're going to learn that mass adoption is the way to go for autonomy and for the safety of our roads. So our next tweet comes from Ray. He says that the Model 3 is the least complained car with 0.7 complaints per 10,000 cars, topping all 37 other models, foreign or domestic. This is the first time Model 3 ranks top spot in findings. That's really cool to see because it means that they're improving in multiple facets, either in build quality, but also safety and other metrics as well. It's certainly a cool milestone to see, but even more importantly is the difference between first and second place. Second place comes at 4.2 complaints every 10,000, and that's way more than the 0.7 per 10K complaints that the Model 3 has. Now, it's really easy for Tesla to go and say, hey, well, we're doing great, so let's not improve anywhere. We're just fine. Let's just chug along. But what you can see is that they're actually making changes to the build quality, to addressing customer concerns, and improving on these types of metrics all the time. So Tesla Opinion says wind and solar overtook coal and gas power in Western Australia for the first time in October. So some of you may know that my wife and I lived in Australia a few years back, and during that time I remember reading about Elon Musk and his challenge to the Western Australia government. Back then, and still to some degree today, Australia is a very coal and gas powered country. That being said, with the unstable power grid in Western Australia, they experienced tons of outages, and Elon challenged them to build them a battery for 100 days or less, and if he couldn't do it under that time, it would be free. So surprise, Elon always under-promises and over-delivers, and he ended up doing it, and now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. There's certainly much more power stability in the Western Australia grid, and there's been a huge shift in the mindset of renewable energy in Australia. And our final tweet today comes from Pow Lifestyle, a fellow Canadian. He says, "It's happening. Soon combustion engines will be the floppy disk icon on the save button for the next generation." So it's really cool to see the new generation really leading the way. Now in this tweet, he does cite an article from the UK, and it says that half of British kids want their parents to go either hybrid or electric. Obviously, kids right now may not have the money to buy those cars, but they do have a say in purchasing power. They can influence, and they have influenced, their parents and the next generation to hurry up the transition to sustainable energy and sustainable power. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please consider liking and subscribing. And if there are any other tweets or comments you want to leave below, please leave them in the comment section below, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.